I'm going to be opening and looking at this PEX tool that I ordered. I'm going to explain why I ordered it. I've done a whole lot of DIY house remodeling over the years. In fact, I've done entirely all of my own plumbing at this point, so everything has been rebuilt. And this was my old PEX tool. It's a shark bite, and man, it is heavy and tough to use. This was about 14 years ago that I first started with that one. So I ordered an iCrimp off of Amazon. Now I don't have any big projects coming up, but I just wanted to have an easier one on hand because I know at some point that I'll want to mess with some PEX. So I ordered one. I just want to try it out. I'm going to show it to you and you can decide if you think it's a good purchase for you. So there's a proverb that says, by wisdom a house is built, by understanding it is established. And that can mean a lot of things. I think it can mean more of a spiritual meaning than a physical house, but there's also some, you see some real applications in a physical house, and understanding and establishing, growing and understanding how to put things together is an incredible skill. And I've benefited so much from YouTube over the years and learning how to do things to remodel my own house or redo things like my plumbing. We moved into a very old house and it needed entirely new plumbing system. So I actually had a professional do some initial drain lines, and that was a big job, and I'm glad he did it. But then I started redoing my incoming lines with PEX and making connections to everything in the house, and part of it was initially the water pressure. But anyway, so I don't know what's in this box yet. This is my first time opening it. So I'm about to open it. We'll take a look. It's the iCrimp set. It has a ratcheting crimp tool for PEX plumbing applications, and then I think it also has a cutter in it, so we'll check both of those out. So it comes in a nice case here. To open, we go this way, so maybe that's the top. Oh, I was wrong. I opened it upside down. So anyway, I dropped one of the clamps. So here's the PEX tool. This is the one you use all your strength to do. This one is a ratcheting PEX tool, and I'm going to figure out how to use it here and show you how well it will work on applications that we have. Well, there we go. It ratchets open. I can see how that's going to work. So I use the word ratcheting. This is to clarify. So it's going to pop open. It has a bit of a ratcheting function, but it does not ratchet down in terms of when I am using it as a clamp tool. So it does not take the force off the user. There are versions that do that, but this one is still my own grip strength to bring it together and tighten it down. I'll give you a close-up here of putting some PEX together. This is not really a PEX instructional video, but I will show you how this one works to put some PEX together. And again, I've done so much PEX in my own house, and I'm not a plumber. I'm just a DIY remodeler. So here we have an instruction book. We have a nice cutting tool, very lightweight and small. So I've got a couple of these in the house, but this one would fit into spots better if you need to get into a tight spot to use it. So to me, that's one of the big advantages of a small PEX tool to a big one. So it's one thing to use this, say, here on a desk like I am working with right now, but so many times you need to do plumbing connections up in very hard to reach places. And I actually have an outdoor faucet that's been dripping that I will replace very soon, and so that may be the first application I actually get with running some new line out to it. But so this is supposed to work for both 3/4 and for it says everything from 3/8 to 1 inch. So one of the differences as PEX has evolved is just the way that it clamps on. So the old ones were the metal piece, and you can see it is just round, And what you're doing with it is the fitting is going to be here, and the metal piece, you bring it about to right there, and then you would use this big, awful clamp to bring it together, to squeeze it on there. And so that was also why the old ones had to have a tool. I don't see a tool right now, but you have a measuring tool you put on there to make sure that it fits. And if your measuring tool says it's not on there right, then you have to do it again. So getting them off was also quite a beast. So the new one is a much different design. It's basically a ring, and instead of pure pressure to bring it down on the pipe, here we're just going to be ratcheting it together like this. So I'm going to go back and put it on the table here. Sorry, first time. So just comparing the cutter, this is the one I usually use, and I've had a few of these over the years. Once they get beat up or dull, they don't work great. But this ratcheting cutter, take a little bit off of this. It worked nice, easy, and again, small spaces, this is going to be very handy. I like that a lot. So I'll still use this one. It's probably ergonomically a little bit easier, but this one is a nice cutting tool. Alright, so I've had one practice doing this, and now I'm going to show you how easily it will put together the metal ring. So this is, to me, this is always the hardest part, is getting it lined up and then keeping it in place while you start to put it together. And so sometimes it's a little easier than others, but and I actually slipped on that one. So this is too far down. I wouldn't be comfortable with that as a fitting. So I will mention there's a calibration process with this one, and this is the calibration tool, and just it's basically a little bit of adjusting to make sure that things line up the way that they ought to. Interesting, the old one had a calibration also, so I remember setting it. I've never had any problems with it. I haven't had to redo it. But again, the force needed to put that one together versus the force needed to put this one together, with which ratchets open. This is going to be handy, and I look forward to using it for a real project soon. So this is the iCrimp PEX clamp tool and cutter. And it comes with several fittings of different sizes, as well as the tool for calibration. So hope this was helpful. Link below if you're interested in checking out its price. Thanks for watching.